Welcome to Heart of the Elder Years, a space where stories soften us and time teaches us what really matters. There are relationships that shape us when we are young. First loves, parenthood, ambition, adventure. But as the years unfold, you begin to see with new eyes, and you realize something you never expected, that sometimes the deepest kind of love is the one that doesn't ask for romance, doesn't demand forever, doesn't wear a ring. It simply stays. It laughs with you. It remembers with you. It walks beside you, slowly now, but faithfully. This story is about friendship at 70, and why it might be the most sacred bond of all. You didn't always believe in friendship like this. In your 20s, friendship was fast and full. Late nights, loud laughter, people you saw every day because life put you in the same places. College, work, raising kids. You made friends out of proximity, out of shared struggle, out of sheer need. Some of those friends faded, some stayed a little longer. But life got busy. Schedules pulled tight. People moved. Priorities shifted. And somewhere along the way, you stopped reaching out. You told yourself it was just a season. But seasons turned to years. And for a long time, you got used to being alone. Until one day, someone reached back. It started simply. A familiar voice on the other end of the phone. Someone from years ago, not quite forgotten, just quietly folded into the past. "Hey," they said, "I was thinking about you." That's all it took. A ripple through the stillness. A reminder that someone remembered your name without a holiday card or a funeral notice. You talked for an hour, then again the next week. Then coffee. You were surprised how natural it felt. To laugh again, to tell the truth without dressing it up, to sit in silence that didn't feel awkward, just comfortable. They didn't ask for anything, they just showed up. And that, after all these years, felt like the rarest gift. It wasn't about catching up. It was about picking up where something had paused, not ended. You began to realize that friendship in your 70s isn't about how much you do together. It's about who sees you now, without needing to revisit who you used to be. And being seen, truly seen, at this age is a kind of miracle. You didn't know how much you needed it until it came back. The laughter, the companionship, the way they remembered the names of people who are now long gone, but once filled your house and your holidays and your life. They didn't rush your stories. They knew the weight behind them. They didn't try to fix your aches. They just sat beside them. You began to understand that this kind of friendship wasn't built on shared interests anymore, but shared endurance. Shared losses, shared learning, shared years. They knew what grief looked like in your eyes. They'd carried their own. They didn't ask you to be strong. They let you be real. And in that kind of friendship, you didn't have to explain who you were. You didn't have to pretend you weren't tired. You didn't have to apologize for needing a slower pace. You just had to show up. And they did too. Over time, it became a rhythm. Your check-ins, your coffee dates, your texts that just said, "Thinking of you." They weren't grand, but they were steady. And sometimes, steadiness is the greatest kind of love. There's a moment you'll never forget. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't even planned. You were both sitting on the porch, watching the sky turn pink, sipping something warm, tea for you, black coffee for them. You hadn't said much that day. You didn't need to. But then they looked at you, eyes soft with knowing, and said, "I'm glad we made it here." And something in you softened, because you knew what they meant. Not just the porch, not just the sunset, but this life, this friendship, this version of you, still standing, still open, still capable of deep connection after all you've lived through. You felt seen, held, and for the first time in a long time, you didn't feel like a shadow of yourself. You felt whole. Because someone who has walked beside your life for that long doesn't just know your story. They are part of it. And that kind of presence can't be bought, can't be forced, can't be rushed. It has to be lived. And you did, together. You begin to understand that this friendship isn't a second prize. It's not what's left after family grows distant, or partners pass on, or old dreams settle quietly into memory. No, this friendship is something else entirely. It's the prize you didn't know you were still running toward. The treasure that only reveals itself once you've lived enough life to truly recognize its worth. There's no pressure to perform, no fear of being misunderstood, no need to impress. You've already seen each other in the hospital gown, in the messy kitchen, in the moments when mascara runs and words don't come out right. And you stayed. So now, everything is easier. You can cry without apology. You can laugh until your side aches. You can sit in silence and still feel more connected than you ever did in rooms full of people. You don't need plans. You don't need matching calendars. You just need presence. And presence, at this age, is the most sacred gift you can offer someone. Because you both know how rare it is to be truly known and still loved. And that, you realize, is what makes this friendship unlike anything else you've ever known. There's a kind of peace that only comes with friendship like this. It's not loud. It doesn't arrive with confetti. It's the kind of peace that slips in quietly when you're sipping tea or watching the same birds visit the fence or just sitting beside each other without speaking at all. And in that stillness, you realize something beautiful. You don't need much anymore. Not the attention, not the schedule, not the approval of people who never really knew you. What you need, what you've always needed, is someone who sees you fully and chooses to stay anyway. That's what they've done. That's what you've done. And as the years grow quieter, as the noise of the world fades into the background, their presence becomes louder. They're the voice you still want to hear when the days feel too long. The story you still want to tell when something makes you laugh unexpectedly. They're not just your friend. They're the proof that love can take many forms, and that this one, soft and steady, might just be the truest of them all. And now you sit with the knowing. Not everything in life stayed. Not everything was meant to. But this friendship, this beautiful, ordinary, extraordinary friendship, did. It weathered the years, the changes, the quiet seasons where neither of you knew what to say, but kept showing up anyway. It held space for grief, for joy, for the mundane and the miraculous. And in a world that often forgets to look back, to slow down, to stay close, this friendship remembered. So when someone asks you now what matters most at 70, you don't talk about accomplishments. You don't list places you've been. You don't measure meaning by money or milestones. You smile softly and you say, "I had a friend who stayed." And in that sentence is a lifetime. Because at this age, you understand something that youth rarely grasps, that when the noise fades, when the roles and titles fall away, when the crowds disappear, what's left is who sat beside you when the world grew quiet. And if you're lucky, like you were, they're still here. And so are you, together. If this story reminded you of someone who showed up quietly, who stayed without needing to be asked, who laughed with you in the slow afternoons and sat with you through the quiet ones, reach out, say thank you, say, "I was thinking about you." Say nothing at all, just let them hear your voice. Because friendship at 70 is not a memory. It's not what you used to have. It's still here. It's still growing. It's still yours to nurture. And if you know someone who needs this story, someone who feels forgotten, or quietly brave, or quietly lonely, send it to them. Let it be a gentle reminder. They are not alone. And if you'd like more stories like this, quiet, healing, honest, subscribe to Heart of the Elder Years. This is a place where we don't hurry, where time is sacred, where love is quiet but real, where the oldest friendships still have something new to teach us. Thank you for listening. Thank you for remembering what matters. We'll be here whenever you need a soft place to land.